Hello everyone, this is Dr. Mihir Shah once again with another video. This is the part 3 of last minute revision topics to be covered to easily pass TYBMS SEM-VI for the subject indirect tax, also known as GST. We have already covered the first two parts, in which almost like around 6 topics were covered up. Now the remaining last topics which are pending we will be covering up in this particular part. So let us see which are the remaining topics that you need to cover so that you can easily clear your exam. The very first topic that we'll be covering in this particular video is payment of GST topic, under which we'll have computation of net tax liability based problem sum. So let us see how to solve them.
Okay, now let us see how to solve the sum when they've asked us to find the net tax liability. Okay, this is a very important topic from the exam point of view. We'll read the question once. It's given that Ms. Sangeeta, registered in the state of Maharashtra, provides the following details for the month of July. Calculate her net tax liability for the month of July. They are given you opening balance in electronic credit ledger as on 1st July. IGST, CGST and SGST has been given. After that, they are giving you many transactions during the month. So you have sold goods, again you have sold goods, purchase, provided, availed. Okay, now let us see how to solve this sum. Okay, always remember, whenever you get a sum where they ask you to find the net tax liability, remember minimum 3 steps where the sum can get over, and maximum 4 steps if it is an advanced sum. Okay, so we are going to take up 2 sum, one which can get over in 3 steps and one advanced which will get over in 4 steps, but it cannot go beyond 4 steps. Okay, chalo. Now in order to start the sum, very simple. Okay, now remember, when in order to find the net tax liability, we have to find 2 important things. Number 1, how much tax did the supplier collect from the recipient? Second, how much tax did the supplier pay during purchasing of raw materials? So how much amount or tax he has collected from the recipient, and second, how much tax he has paid. These are the very 2 crucial things that has to be found in the sum. Okay, so now let us see how we start the sum. Okay, very simple. We'll go in stepwise. Okay, the very first step that we need to note down, remember the headings. Okay, we are finding the tax liability. Remember the heading. Number 1, the first heading will always be calculation of tax liability. Okay, calculation of tax liability. This is basically tax on supply, also known as outward tax. Okay, we are finding the tax which you are going to collect basically on supply. Whenever you are supplying, what is the tax that have been collected? The columns will be transactions. We'll have IGST, CGST and SGST. Okay, now very simple. This particular table will only include supply, whatever you're selling, whatever you're supplying, only that. Now the very first thing which is given in the transaction in the question is sold goods at the rate of 5% GST to Amit in Jodhpur. Now very important thing, we'll read the question. See, it's given Sangeeta is registered in the state of Maharashtra. If you look in the question, it's given that she is in the state of Maharashtra. Now remember, if you are supplying, okay, or purchasing within the same state, this is very important. Okay, listen to this very carefully. If you are supplying or you're purchasing within the same state, then your tax will get split in 2 parts, CGST and SGST. And if you are purchasing or selling into different state, then you will have one direct common tax, that is IGST. Okay, so that is very important. So we start. Number 1, it is given sold goods at 5% to Amit in Jodhpur. Now Sangeeta is from Maharashtra, this is Jodhpur, you are supplying to Jodhpur, 2 different states. If it is two different state, the entire tax will be on collected will be based on IGST. Now amount given in the question is 12 lakhs. Okay, I repeat, amount given in the question is 12 lakhs. So 12 lakhs into 5%, the value comes to 60,000. Remember, whatever is the value given, that value into the percentage. If it is in IGST, full amount. If it is in CG and SGST, the amount will be split in two parts. Okay. Next, again we have sold goods at 12% to Abhay in Mumbai. Now, Maharashtra, Mumbai, same state. So whatever is the tax, okay, 11 lakh ka 12%, but we'll have to split that in two parts, so it will be 6% each. Okay, so it will be 11 lakhs ka 6% is 66,000. So 66,000 will go in CGST and 66 will go in SGST. Okay, next, purchase cannot come here, provided. Okay, if you're providing, meaning you are giving service, you're supplying, so yes, that also will come here. Third, provided services at 18% in Delhi. Maharashtra, Delhi, two different state, entire tax will be taken under IGST. So provided service in Delhi, value was 70,000. So 70,000 ka 18% is 12,600. Okay, 70,000 into 18% is 12,600. The entire amount will come in IGST. And next, provided service at 18% in Nasik. So fourth one, again we have provided services at 18% in Nasik. Nasik, Maharashtra, same state you will have. So whatever will be the tax will be divided. So 1,50,000 into 18%. That's the total value. So we'll have to take the half of that 9%. So that will become 13,500. So it will go 13 will go in CGST. The remaining 13,500 will go in SGST. That's it. Other than that, there is no more supply. We will total it up. So 60, so that becomes 72,600. That's the total. $79,500 and 79,500. That's the very first step that you need to solve. Okay, very simple. Whatever you're supplying, on that take the value of the GST. If it is two different state, okay, IGST, same state, break in CGST and SGST. Step number 2. This was all on supply, step number 1. Now we'll have all on purchases. So it will be written as calculation of input tax credit. It is IT, also known as ITC, and it is basically, purchase with tax. Okay, it's basically tax on purchases. So now in the sum there were two purchases. One was purchase goods and one is availed services. Two things were there, so we will take those values. Again, we'll have transactions, IGST, CGST and SGST. Number 1, we have purchase goods. At the rate of 12% in Mumbai. Okay, purchase goods at the rate of 12% in Mumbai. Mumbai, Maharashtra, same state. So whatever will be the tax, it will be split in two parts. Sorry. It is purchase goods of 12% from Pune. It's not Mumbai, it's Pune. So Pune ka value will be, here it was 50,000. So 50,000 into 12%, but we'll take it 6, we have to split in two parts. So it will be 3,000 each. 3,000 will go in CGST and the remaining 3,000 will go in SGST. Second, we have availed services, the last statement which was given there. Availed again means purchase, so availed services, that is at the rate of 5% from Surat. Now Surat and Maharashtra, two different states, so the entire amount will go in IGST. So 3 lakh into, we have 5%, so that's 15,000. Okay, that's it, there's nothing else. We will total it up. So that's my second total B. So I have 15,000, 3,000 and another 3,000. Step number 3, calculation of net tax liability. Okay, now based on the third answer, we'll come to know whether we need to further solve the fourth step or the sum is done at the third step itself. Okay, we'll have transactions, or you can have basically particulars. Again, we have IGST, CGST and SGST. Step number 1 here, very important. First step, we need to note down the tax payable. Tax payable is nothing but your step number 1 ka total. So that was 72,600, 79,500 and 79,500. Okay, step number 2 will be less opening balance of electronic credit ledger. Very important point, it has to be electronic credit ledger. If it is a cash ledger, cannot consider here, only credit ledger will be considered. It's given. Okay, the camera just went off. Okay, so I actually solved it, and when I later realized that. Okay, so now as I told you, the opening balance of credit ledger will be considered. So we took those values from the question. Okay, next it is less ITC, that is from the B value. So we note down the answers of the B part, that is -50, -3 and -3. Once I get that, we will subtract it. 72,600 minus 17 minus 15, we get the value as 40,600. 79,500 minus 15 minus 3 is 61,500. Similarly will be the SGST price. Now if you look carefully, from here you come to know whether we need to make one more step or the sum gets over here itself. If you get all the 3 answers as positive, again I repeat, if you get all the 3 answers as positive, we can conclude that this is our net tax payable. If among the 3, okay, if something becomes negative, for example, if CGST is negative or SGST is negative, okay, we can use that negative mean it is excess, in excess. If anything is in excess, we can use it basically to set off other values. Okay, we can use that to set off other values. So we will see that in the next sum. In this sum, all the 3 values are positive. So with that, we can say that this particular sum comes to an end. Okay, I hope everyone have understood that this was the very first sum that we had taken up based on calculation of tax liability, a very important sum from the exam point of view. Okay, now we will be taking up the second sum, which will have an additional step. So let us see how to solve that particular sum. Okay, now let us see the second sum. Okay, Mr. Pushkar registered in the state of Gujarat. So we'll have to compare everything from Gujarat point of view. Provides the following detail for the month of Feb. Calculated again net tax liability. Wherever you see this question, this is how you all have to solve the sum. The opening balance in electronic credit ledger has been given to us as IGST, CGST and SGST. And thereafter they are given us many transactions. We have sold goods at 18%, sold goods at 12%, purchased goods, provided goods and availed services. Okay, so chalo, now again in the same way, okay, in the same way we will start with our sum. First, step number 1, okay, heading for the first thing will always be, okay, calculation of tax liability. This is basically we are finding tax on supply. Okay, we'll have columns as transactions, IGST, CGST and SGST. Okay, normal, in the normal way. Okay, now we read the question, each transaction. Okay, the very first transaction is sold goods at 18% GST in Surat. Now, Gujarat and Surat, same state, so your tax will be deducted in SGST and CGST form. So, number one, we'll start. Now, this will be sold goods at and the question is given at 18%, so I will take it as 99%. So I'll write it that this is 18% in Surat. Okay, so 17,50,000 is the value. So 17,50,000 on a calci will take 17,50,000 into 9%. Okay, the amount will be 1 lakh. It goes in break in two parts. Okay, so it will be 1,57,500. 1,57,500. Second, there's another goods that have been sold at the rate of the second one at the rate of 12% in Delhi. The value is 9 lakhs. So I'll write here sold goods at the rate of 12% in Delhi. So 9 lakh into 12% is 1,08,000. The entire thing will go in IGST because Delhi and Gujarat two different states. Third, we have, if you can look carefully, the fifth one, provided services are 18% in Bangalore. Again, different state. Okay, we have value as 5,40,000 and the rate of the rate of GST which is given is 18%. So I'll write here provided services at 18% in Bangalore. So again it will be 5,40,000 into 18%. It will come to 97,200. The entire amount will go in IGST. Fourth one, we have provided, again we have provided services in Mumbai at the rate of 5% in Mumbai. The value is 8,60,000 into 5%, that is 43,000. That's it. Rest everything is based on ITC. We add it up, so I get this answer as 2,48,200, 1,57,500 and again 1,57,500. This is the A part, that's the total of your output sale, your tax on supply. Step number 2, calculation of input tax credit. Okay, that is nothing but all on purchases we have to find. So we'll have again transactions. Okay, IGST, CGST and SGST. Number 1. The very first thing which is given in the question is purchase goods at 28% from Ahmedabad. Ahmedabad, Gujarat, same state. So 28% will get divided into 14% each. So I'll write here purchase goods at 28% from Ahmedabad. So 14% each. The value is 8,50,000 into 14% is 1,19,000. Okay. Next is again purchase from Chennai. Okay, the second thing is purchase from Chennai. So I write here purchase at the rate of 12% from Chennai. Now the value of goods was 4,20,000 into 12%, which comes to 50,400. Third, we can see in the second last two, the availed services. Availed is again we have used it, we have taken it, purchased. So availed services at the rate of 9%. It's 18% from Bhavnagar and it's in Gujarat itself, so it gets split in two parts. So I'll write it here as 18% from Bhavnagar. Okay, its value is 40,000. The 40,000 into 9% will give you 3,600 each. And fourth one is, again we have availed services at the rate of it's from Indore. So again, Indore is a different state altogether. So the rate is 5% from Indore. So we'll write it out. So 5% of 75,000 into 5% is 3,750. Okay, that's it. Nothing else has been given to us, so we will add up. Okay, when we add up, we get the value as the first one will be 54,150. For the second one, 1,22,600 and 1,22,600. Step number 3. Okay, this is my step number 3, 2, 1. So now this will be calculation of net tax liability. Okay, I'll write here particulars. IGST, CGST and SGST. Very simple. Number 1, step number 1 will be tax payable. Okay, now wait, this is also the total, so we'll write this as total. This is my B answer, this was my answer A. Okay, so tax payable, that is nothing but the part A ka answer, that was 2,48,200, 1,57,500 and another 1,57,500. Step number 2 will be less opening balance of electronic credit ledger. Again, electronic credit ledger. Okay, the values which are given in the electronic credit ledgers are 10,000, 5,000 and 2 lakhs. So 10,000, 5,000 and 2 lakhs. Remember, this is less, so all will be in bracket. Third step, again we have less ITC, that is your answer B that we had got. So that was 54,150, 1,22,600 and 1,22,600. Since it is again less, so we'll put all in brackets. Once we do that, we minus it. Okay, so 248,200 minus 10,000 minus 54, I get a difference of 1,84,050. The same when I do for the second one, I will get 29,900. And for the third one, now since the amounts are huge, it goes in negative, 1,65,100. Okay, so this is nothing but my net tax payable, or because see, one is negative, so I can even write this as excess credit. This is called excess credit. Okay, excess credit meaning I have paid more than what I have collected. So now the rule, now this is the rule which you'll have to all remember. Okay, if there is a excess in CGST and SGST, you can use them to pay off your IGST. Again I repeat, if there is an excess of CGST and SGST, you can use that to pay off IGST, and if there is an excess in IGST, you can use that to pay off CGST and SGST. That's the most important part. Okay, now since it is negative, I'll start with my step number 4, that will be your adjusting. Okay, it will be known as adjustment of excess credit available in, now in this can be anything. Now this is excess credit available in SGST. Okay, so now how to do that? Again we'll have particulars. IGST, CGST and SGST. Okay, step number 1 will be the answer that we have found. So net tax payable or excess credit. We'll just note down the final answer what we had got in the last step. Okay, we had 1,65,100 as negative. Step number 2, now we are going to adjust this. So I'll write here, okay, I'll write here SGST adjust against IGST. So I'll put this as positive 65,100 and I'll put it here as 1,65,100 as negative. Okay, because the value is less, still IGST is on the higher side. I can use that entire amount. Okay, nothing to do with CGST. So when I subtract it, your SGST becomes nil. This is 29,900 as it is, and when I minus the IGST, I get the value as 18,950. This is nothing but my final net tax payable. So in this sum, we were able to use the excess of SGST to pay off extra IGST. Okay, this is how the entire sum needs to be solved in 4 different parts: 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Okay, topic number 8 is exempt goods and service, which the sum will be based on taxable and non-taxable. So here, this is a list of all the goods which are not subjected to GST. Number 1, live animals. So all the types of animals, they do not come under GST excluding horse. Meat, egg, honey, milk or any other edible product from animal exempted. Human hair, semen including the frozen semen exempted. Live tree, edible vegetable, fruits, nuts, coffee, leaves, oilseed including betel nut, they are exempted. Lac, gum and other non-edible extract from the plants, they are exempted. Sugar, jaggery, puffed rice, flat rice, papad, all breads except the pizza bread. Prasads which are supplied at religious places, beverages, vinegar, water, residue waste from the food industry using for making animal fodder. So basically anything which is related to nature, agricultural product, animal husbandry. Okay, all that is all exempted. Salt, earth, stone, plastering material, lime and cement exempted. Pharmaceutical product like human blood, surgical equipments, essential cosmetic like kumkum, bindi, sindoor, plastic bangles, glass bangles, they are again all exempted. Rubber article, wood articles, fibers made of silk, wool, cotton, coconut, jute, agricultural equipment, homemade music instruments, and slate of the pencil or the chalk. Okay, so anything which is from the nature, basically, okay, goods which you're getting from the nature, okay, without being processed too much. Okay, all those goods are exempted from GST or they are not subject to GST. Okay, so basically they will all be your non-taxable goods. So under goods, these are the things which you need to keep in mind. Okay, you all can take a screenshot of it or you all can just note it down and keep in mind. Now let us check the service. Now service is a little lengthier. Okay, a lot of things are there which we need to keep in mind. Simple, but you need to keep all those things in mind. Okay, services which are not subject to GST. Number 1, we have charitable activity. Anything for charity not to be considered. Any service except work contract which are provided to central government, state government, union territory, local authority. So any service which you are providing to the government exempted. Any service given by central government, state, union, or so again any service if you are given by central government, state government, any government activity exempted. Services of Department of Indian Postal Service excluding speed post, express parcel, life insurance post and by aircraft. Now always remember services which are available for the mass population that will all be exempted, but which are luxury, okay, like speed post, express passes, these are basically a luxury kind of service, okay, first class service, so all that becomes taxable. Services associated with transit cargo to Nepal and Bhutan, again, they are exempted. Grants given by central or state government exempted. Supply of service by construction company for pure labor, okay, under any government scheme is exempted. Service of contractor pure labor build to build a single residential unit exempted. May it's not for commercial. Anything which is for residential exempted. Renting a house for residential dwelling is exempted. Renting a religious place for religious ceremony charges for which are less than 10,000 per day. So if any place is there which you are giving it for renting, the price of the renting is less than 10,000 per day, it is exempted. Services of hotel, guest house in Dharmashala where charges are less than 1,000 a day. If the charges are less than 1,000 a day, it is exempted. If it is more than 1,000, it will be taxable. Okay. Next, service of transport of passenger by air flight starting from or ending at the airport which are located at Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura, Meghalaya, Nagaland, and Sikkim, and Bagdora Airport in West Bengal. So if you have any airlines which are passenger which are transporting from any of these airport or to this particular airport, okay, to and fro, they are exempted from GST. Service of transport of passenger or goods by railway, excluding the first class and the AC. First class and AC where there is tax, but other than that, second class, third class where there won't be any GST. Service of metro, monorail, tramway, inland waterways is exempted. Meter cab and rickshaw exempted except Ola and Uber because they are private services. Services of road, rail or ship transport for transportation of following goods: relief material, newspaper, agricultural, milk, salt, food grain. All if you're transporting any of these material, you don't have to pay GST. Service of giving transport vehicle on hire meant to carry more than 12 passenger. Okay, so if it is more than 12 passenger and if you're giving any transportation for service, it doesn't come under the purview of GST. Next, toll charges. Okay, because toll itself is a tax, so you cannot have another tax over another tax. Distribution of electricity, services by RBI, IRDA, SEBI, charges for debit card, credit card, whether transactions are less than 2,000, no GST. Above that, yes. Insurance service under government scheme like Jan Arogya Bima Policy, Rashtriya Swasthya Bima Policy, Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana, any government policy which are there on insurance will be exempted. Next, service of reinsurance, service of transfer of rights in flats after receiving the certificate of completion doesn't have any GST. Any service by way of veterinary clinic exempted. Collecting and providing news by independent journal and press trust exempted. Service of public library, sponsorship sports event organized by legal sports authority like BCCI, okay, or FIFA. All if these organizations, okay, legal authority, if they are organizing any events, sponsorship on that no GST. Slaughtering of animals when there won't be any. Service by foreign diplomatic mission, that is for visa, there is nothing. Service by specific organizing in respect of religious pilgrimage facility to Hajj, Mansaro Yatra, Amarnath Yatra, all those services, there won't be any GST. Service provided by education institution to the student, teacher and staff, that is food, transport, supplying study material, on that no GST. Service of coach, umpire, referee provided by any recognized sports body, no, it is exempted. Service of court or blood bank exempted. Artist in music, dance, acting, where charges of such services are less than 1,50,000 rupees. If it is less than 1,50,000, no GST. Above 1,50,000, yes, GST will be there. Service of allowing entry to museum, national park, zoo, protected monuments exempted. Service of training or coaching for any recreational activity, teaching, dancing, sports, yoga, drawing, sculpture, all that is exempted. Service of allowing entry to circus, sports event, award function, planetarium, where ticket charges are less than 500. Entertainment, if you want to go any of these places where if it is less than 500, no GST. If it is above, yes, GST will be added. And lastly, services by way of public convenience, that is use of bathroom, public bathroom, public toilets, all that is exempted from GST. Okay. So I hope everyone have understood this. See, these are basically the list which you will need to go through it. Okay. Now, based on this, we will be taking up a couple of sum to understand how you need to solve the sum based on these exempted lists, how it will be useful in solving taxable and non-taxable based sum. Okay. So let us see a couple of sum in order to solve taxable and non-taxable variant. Okay, from the following, for November 2018, calculate the value of taxable and non-taxable services, assuming that goods and services are service tax is not included in the. I mean, the GST is not there in the amount; it's exclusive. So basically, here you need to just. This is one of the most simplest sum. Okay, the list is given. You just have to segregate which of them are taxable and which of them are not taxable. Okay, and then later on just you need to add it and get the taxable and non-taxable value. Okay, so the columns will be very simple. Okay, particular serial number, particulars, just note down all those list however it is given and make two columns, taxable, non-taxable. Okay, now number one, rent received from factory building. Now remember, factory building, if you're getting rent, it is a taxable because factory is commercial. Commercial will always be taxable. So we'll have to just put the amount in the taxable column. Rent received from agricultural plot. Agriculture doesn't come under the purview. It is exempted, so non-taxable. Let out, a house is let out for residential purpose. Again, if you're staying in a house for residential purpose, okay, on that GST is not applicable, it's not taxable. But if it was for commercial, it would have been taxable. Okay, since it is for residential, non-taxable. Interest earned on loan, banking service, always remember only debit card, credit card, the service is what they provide. Okay, on that GST is applicable, but whatever you are, whatever you are getting extra, on that there will never be any GST. So interest earned on loan will not fetch any GST. Okay, how loan was a service which the bank was giving, so if on loan, if GST is applicable, okay, then it is okay, but not on the interest. Okay, interest, penalties, these are, they don't catch any GST. Sale and purchase of forward contract. Now forward contract is security. Securities do not come under the purview of the definition of goods. So since it is not it doesn't come under goods, it is non-taxable. Coaching to student of IIM exam, yes, coaching, it is private. Okay, it is taxable. Development and design of software. Now software is IT based. Okay, anything which is software IT related service, it is purely taxable. Next, express parcel post service. See, normal post service is exempted, but express parcel, okay, it is like an luxury service that you have demanded. So anything which is luxurious, okay, it will be taxable. Collection of electricity bill, yes, it is a service when being provided, so yes, it is taxable. Implementation of software, again software is IT related. As I told you, anything which is IT related will be completely taxable. That's it. After noting taxable, non-taxable, you just have to remove the totals. So total will be 23 lakhs on the taxable, 22 lakh 90,000 on the non-taxable side. This is it. This is 15 marks. Very simple. You just have to note it down those values and just get those values. And they haven't told you anything related to tax. Okay, if they would have told you, chalo, if you want to find, see here saying assuming that goods and services is not included in the amount, and they haven't told us ki, what is the taxable non-taxable ka GST. So we just got the sum done here. If they would have asked you to calculate the tax also, so on these total values, you just have to take 18% GST, okay, whatever is the rate given, otherwise directly 18% GST on these amount. Okay, so this was the very first question, question number. Okay, now question number 3A. Mr. Arvind gives you the following information of his transaction for November 2017. It was 15 mark sum. Now remember, whenever they give you this list, okay, list of all transaction, it is based on calculation of taxable and non-taxable value of goods and services. Also, you should remember the exempted list. Okay, what are the things which are exempted from GST? What are the things on which GST is not payable, and what are the things on which GST is payable? That is all you have to remember. So now see, very simple trick to remember this is anything related to government, exempted. Anything related to raw material, that is agricultural raw material, exempted. Okay, residential purpose ke liye anything is given, no tax. If it is commercial, yes, taxable. Okay, for hotels and all, if the tariff of the room is less than 1,000, no tax. If it is above 1,000, you have to pay tax. Okay, so anything which is government based, residential based, agricultural based, you don't have to pay tax on that. But other than that, if it is purely based on commercial services or commercial, anything related to commercial where you're giving some service, on that GST will be applicable. Okay, so they are giving you particulars. They are giving you for hotel rooms, house are let out for individuals for residential purpose, placement service, renting of agricultural vacant land, storage, building, a lot of things are given. They are giving you a lot of transaction. After that, they told you, as per the provision related to goods and service tax, classify the above item as taxable or non-taxable and calculate the value of taxable services, assuming that goods and services not included in the above amount, and the applicable rate of GST was 18%. Okay, so now see, very simple to solve. What we'll do now here is, we'll have to make two columns. We'll have to note down these particular as it is, and two more column taxable and non-taxable. Okay, and then whatever value you will get for taxable ka total, on that you'll have to remove the GST at 18%. Okay, so now what I'm going to do on the next slide, I'm noting down all these particular as it is. Okay, so we have noted down all those 13 particulars as it is. Okay, two columns, taxable and non-taxable. The amounts are directly taken. Okay, so now we'll just have to see, have to just understand to figure out whether it is taxable or non-taxable. Amounts can be written directly from the question. Okay, first it was for hotel rooms, declared tariff per day is 1200. Now, as I told you, the rule is, if the tariff of a room of a hotel or a lodge or anything is less than 1000, you don't have to pay tax. If it is more than 1000, then it will be purely taxable. So the for hotel room where the tariff is more than per day is 1200, it is fully taxable. So whatever is the amount given in the question, that full thing will come under taxable column. No calculation there. Okay, you just have to put it amount whether it is taxable or non-taxable. Next, house are let out to individual for residential purpose. As I told you, residential and nothing related to commercial, the entire amount will be non-taxable. Next, placement service. Now, placement service is basically an activity which is performed to earn money. Okay, it is a commercial activity. So whatever is the value given to us in the question, the entire amount will be taxable. Renting of agricultural vacant land for horse rearing or rearing of horses. Now remember, for all animal husbandry, agriculture, everything is exempted except horse rearing, because horse rearing considered to be a very luxurious activity. Okay, anything which is luxurious is taxable. So the entire amount is taxable. Storage and warehousing of agricultural produce, anything related to agricultural is exempted or tax free, or no tax on this, is non-taxable. Building was let out to Vidya Prasharak school. Now this is government based school. Anything which is government related, it is exempted, so non-taxable. Teaching and recreational activity relating to culture, again cultural stuff, traditional cultural, on that GST cannot be applicable, so non-taxable. Royalty from authorship of books. Now if you have written some book and if you're going to publish it, you're going to get some royalty on it. It is a commercial activity, the amount will be taxable. Margin earned from trading in derivatives. Remember, equity, share, derivative, futures, option, these are securities. Securities do not come under the purview of goods. If it does not come under the purview of goods, meaning it cannot come under GST, so this entire amount will be non-taxable. Coaching and private coaching classes for college student, private, yes, commercial, so it is taxable. Consultancy given in relation to cultivation of mango, anything related to cultivation of agricultural produce, on that GST cannot be applicable, so non-taxable. Though it is a consultancy amount, but still it won't be because it's agricultural based. Next, performing in television serial, it is an commercial activity. Okay, it is a professional activity, it is completely taxable. Last, services by way of public convenience such as provision for facilities of washroom. So anything related to mass population, publicly, if you're making anything which is basically non-taxable. Okay, anything related to washroom or sanitary, anything related to sanitization, anything is non-taxable. Okay, so very simple. You just have to note down those particulars. Two column taxable, non-taxable. Now we total it up. So the taxable ka total comes up to 14,10,000. Non-taxable ka comes up to 15,70,000. Now they told you to calculate the value of tax at 18% GST. So it will be 9% CGST, 9% SGST only for taxable value, not for the non-taxable part. So 14,10,000 into 9%, we got those value. So when you add up, you get the total GST as 2,53,800. That's the total tax that has to be paid. Okay, now the last topic that need to be covered is based on input tax credit, also known as ITC. So cases where ITC cannot be availed. This is what you need to remember. Meaning, see, there are 8 to 10 cases which you need to remember. Other than that, rest everything by ITC is available. Okay. So number one, motor vehicle. If purchased for personal use, you cannot avail ITC. If you want ITC ka it's like a set off a rebate if you want. Okay, if you want that ITC part, so if you're purchasing any motor vehicle for personal use, you cannot avail ITC. Exception is their purchase for transportation of passenger or goods. But if you are purchasing vehicle for transportation purpose, for passenger transportation or goods transportation, okay, then it is available because then it becomes commercial. Next, food, beverages, outdoor catering, beauty parlor treatment, health service, cosmetic, plastic surgery. Whenever you're purchasing these services on this, ITC cannot be availed. Okay. Next, membership of any club or fitness center or health center like gyms and all, you cannot avail ITC in that. Rent a cab, health insurance or life insurance. So if there is pickup and drop service, okay, or you're renting a cab or health insurance, life insurance, on that again, ITC is not available. It is only allowed only if the government makes it obligatory for the employer to provide to his employee. Only if the government have made it compulsory under a certain condition, only then you can use it, otherwise no. But this thing has to be mentioned there. Next, travel benefits to employees, that is leave travel allowances and all, on that ITC cannot be availed. ITC is not available for any work contract service. If there is a contract based service, on that ITC is not available. Allowed only if work contract service supplied for construction of plant and machinery. So it's only if it is plant and machinery construction related, then it is available, otherwise not. Next, goods and services for construction of immovable property, whether to be used for personal or business. So for construction work, if you have you're purchasing any goods and services, on that ITC is not available. Goods received by a non-resident taxable person, ITC cannot be availed. Goods and service used for personal consumption cannot be availed. And last, goods which are lost, stolen, destroyed, written off, disposed by, or gift or free samples, on that it cannot be availed. And last, ITC utilized by way of fraud. If any fraud is done, okay, you're taking some ITC on basis of fraud, again not available. Okay, so these are the 11 cases which you just have to remember. So basically, anything for personal cannot take in place into consideration. For construction purpose, not allowed. For goods stolen, all these are not allowed. So you just have to remember these 11 odd rules. Okay. Now, based on these 11 cases that we took about, now let us see how we actually solve the sum. We're going to take out the very first sum. Mr. Ramakant has provided information regarding input tax credit related to GST on inward supply for the month of July. You are required to calculate ITC available for the month of July 2021. Okay, now the question is very straightforward. They are given you itineraries, and then you have to just say which one of them can be availed under ITC and which cannot be availed. Okay, so now first thing, club membership facility provided for recreation of employee. Again, club membership, gym, club, all on that ITC cannot be availed. So on the first, there is no availment. Goods lost in transportation, again, good lost, destroyed, cannot be availed. Refreshment provided, again, food, beverage, refreshment, on that ITC cannot be availed. Repairing charges paid by Mr. Ajay toward upkeeping of machinery. Okay, this is a normal expense. Nothing was mentioned about in those cases, so yes. Input purchase of as raw material, nothing. They're not mentioned for construction, so yes. Professional fees paid, it is a normal service, yes. Health insurance, again, it is voluntarily done by employer. Government hasn't told you to do so. So on this, ITC cannot be availed. And pickup and drop facility for employees, again non-mandatory, not given by government. Again, pickup and drop service, rent a car service, on all that ITC is not available. So basically, ITC was only available on these three. So 40 plus 50, 90 plus 60, 1,50,000. So 1,50,000 will be your total ITC. Okay, now in order to solve it is the same. You just have to note down those itinerary, those particulars. Wherever we have put the cross, those are not availed under ITC, so we'll write nil, and whichever are tick mark will be the values. Okay, so this is how your solution should look. Okay, club membership was not availed, good loss cannot be availed, refreshment not availed, Repairing charges, yes. Input of raw material, yes. Professional, yes. Health insurance, not available. Pickup and drop, not available. We add up and we got our 1,50,000 as a total input tax credit available. Okay, very simple. It's only based on those rules. Okay, this was the very first sum. Now let us take up another question. You are required to calculate ITC available for the month of December 2021. Okay, again, first what we'll do, first we'll just mark out here and then the solution. Accounting services availed, yes, it's a normal activity, normal service on that, yes, ITC can be availed. Professional fees paid to Mr. Avi for providing audit service, yes, it's a normal service, will be available. Refreshment provided, no, cannot be availed. Raw material used in the production process, okay, normal production process, yes, ITC can be availed. Repairs of building premises, no tax invoice available. Acha, now remember one rule. If you want to avail ITC, there has to be a proper invoice, a tax invoice need. Without a bill, ITC cannot, or without an invoice, ITC cannot be availed. So since there is no invoice available, you cannot avail this part. Purchase of plant and machinery, okay, it's normal plant and machinery. Yes, you're purchasing on that, ITC is available. Input purchase, that is material purchase for construction. Remember, anything for construction, when you're purchasing anything for construction other than other than plant and machinery, okay, nothing else can you get availment of ITC. Okay, so input of raw material for construction, no, on that also no. So basically you have 36,000 plus 18,000 plus 54 plus 90, which comes to around 1,98,000. That will be the value of ITC. Okay. So solution में accounting services, yes. Professional fees, yes. Refreshment, no. Okay. Raw material for production, yes. Purchase without an invoice, no. Plant and machinery, yes. Construction claim, raw material, no. So total came to 1,98,000. So if you look carefully, the sum is very simple. The only thing what you'll have to remember is the rules. Once you note down those rules, rest everything is very simple. Okay. So these are the two sums that we had solved under this topic based on input tax credit, also called as ITC. So I hope everyone have understood it. With that, we will be ending this video here. Thank you.